the only newscast in true high definition, broadcasting live from 12 studios. This is News 12 at 6 p.m.
I got out of there. And the next thing I know, everything's just engulfed in flames.
The family who lost their home in a fire last night describes what happened, how they plan to move forward. Good evening. Welcome to News 12 at 6. I'm Dan Thomas.
And I'm Maureen. Kane, a family who lost everything in a house fire just 2 weeks before Christmas, says they're devastated but grateful to be alive.
News 12's Sean Larson spoke with that family today about how they're going to carry on. He joins us live at the site of that fire. Sean.
Dan and Maureen, Jeff and Jackie Garling tell me that they were wrapping Christmas presents when they noticed that their house was on fire. Now the home was a total loss, as you can see behind me, but they say they're just grateful to still have each other and that everything else were just material objects.
We got out of there. We got out of there. Thank God.
This was the scene last night as a fire ravaged this Texoma home. Jeff and Jackie Garling have been married for 30 years. And were preparing for another Christmas together when they noticed a fire had started in their home off of Hull Street and Crockett in Denison.
It's just almost everything. All of my stuff. I don't have anything there. No clothes. Nothing. I mean, I ran out of there with a nightgown on and a pair of socks.
Denison Fire Chief Bill Ray said it was faulty electrical wiring in the attic that sparked the fire. Jeff Garling's family nearly lost everything 8 years ago when he lost his job. And he says that experience has prepared his family to land on their feet this time. The Red Cross stepped up immediately and put them up in a hotel. They did have renter's insurance and everyone made it out of the home safely. But there are just some things that can't be replaced.
Lost all my jewelry given me over the 30 years. That's all. Because I can't replace all that.
Jackie said she's grateful that Texomans care so much for their fellow neighbor.
It's good to know that there are good people out there. I just want to say thank you to the Red Cross. Red Cross came through for us last night. Thank you.
Now the family lost all their presents, but they say what they need most is clothing. If you'd like to help out, we've posted a link to this story on our website, KXII.com. Live in Denison, Sean Larson, News 12.
A motorcyclist was flown by helicopter to a Plano hospital today after a crash on a Sherman highway. Police say he was speeding onto Highway 75 northbound near Park Street when he lost control and hit the center divide. That's when he and the motorcycle flew over the wall to the southbound side of the highway. A car then hit the motorcycle as it lay in the highway, which landed 60 feet from where the victim landed. The highway was shut down for about an hour around lunchtime, but is back open. The victim's condition is unknown. One man is dead after an accident in Atoka County today, and his identity has not yet been released.
Troopers say that his truck collided with a semi carrying a wide load on a narrow two-lane road. Daniela Rivera reports.
This is the aftermath of a fatal accident involving this red Toyota Tacoma and this semi-truck carrying an oversized load, a modular home.
They made contact right down here at this bridge.
Traffic on State Highway 7 was blocked off as emergency responders spent hours at the crash scene Wednesday morning trying to determine what happened and why.
So as you stand here and you look back over to that hill crest, in 2 seconds you can go from here to the top of the hill.
Troop E investigator Brad Dansby says the Toyota was driving west over this hill and failed to yield to an escort vehicle traveling east ahead of this oversized load. That's when the two collided.
The driver of the oversized load is obviously not hurt. The driver of the other vehicle, they did die at the scene.
Troopers say the cause is still under investigation. They'll use laser mapping equipment to create a scaled diagram of the scene.
To more accurately tell what our time and distance is and what he could see and couldn't see.
Trooper Dansby says the hill paired with a narrow two-lane road could have impacted the driver's response time.
The escort vehicles are to encourage the safety of the motor vehicles as they're approaching the oversized load, to give warning. So we want to always be cognizant to look ahead. What is that escort vehicle giving us warning of?
In Atoka County, Daniela Rivera, News 12.
All right, thank you, Daniela. Well, the father of a newborn who died last summer after riding in a hot car, today he learned his fate in Carter County Court.
Lauren Smith was there and tells us what's in store for him and how the couple's past played a role in his sentence.
A district judge sentenced Christopher Randolph to 6 years in prison Wednesday in Carter County Court for child neglect and the hot car death of his newborn daughter last August.
After hearing the evidence of aggravation and considering all of the evidence before the court, Judge Morris ordered that he should be sentenced to 15 years in the Department of Corrections with all but 6 years suspended.
His wife and the baby's mother, Angela Randolph, is also charged with neglect. Both entered a plea of guilty last month, but Angela has been released on bond pending her sentencing because she's pregnant. The two were arrested after authorities learned their daughter Hannah, only 23 days old at the time, died while they were driving from Ohio to Ringling, Oklahoma in a car without air conditioning.
We certainly agree with the judge's ruling today and the sentence imposed today. I think it was supported by the evidence that was made available to the court and that was known to us.
According to DHS, in 2010, they had 2 children taken from them in Ohio.
I think their background with child welfare, which I can't really comment on the specifics of, did play a part in regards to some of the evidence that the judge was aware of and what he would have considered.
Angela Randolph is set to be sentenced on January 7th. In Ardmore, Lauren Smith, News 12.
The Oklahoma Medical Examiner has released its report in the case of an Ardmore man who died while in police custody this summer, and the findings show he did not die of a traumatic injury. The report states that 38-year-old Rondre Hornbeek's cause of death is officially unknown, but that he died of a possible irregular heartbeat that could have been caused by a recent compression of his neck. We reported in August that Hornbeek's family restrained his hands with a belt after he allegedly assaulted his sister before police arrived. Investigators say the officer transporting Hornbeek noticed he was unresponsive when they got to the jail and tried to resuscitate him until medics arrived. He was taken to Mercy Hospital in Ardmore, where he was pronounced dead. Ardmore police had no comment on the findings.
Well, the hunt is on this afternoon for a man accused of killing a Choctaw County man after escaping from an Oklahoma prison last night. The Oklahoma DOC confirms 28-year-old Robert Long was missing at the 10 p.m. head count at the minimum security Jackie Brandon Correctional Center in McAllister. Long was charged Friday with first-degree murder in the March shooting death of Johnny Allen in a motel in Lawton. Allen lived in Oklahoma all his life and worked for rock haulers in Choctaw County since 2007. Long was awaiting that murder trial, and he had already started a 10-year prison sentence on drug and weapons charges. All right, time to get a check of weather now. Looks like some rain may show up later tonight. Steve LaNore is here with details. Steve?
Well, clouds have been thickening as we went into the evening hours. You can see that here on our Texoma SatRad. So no rain yet, just an increasing amount of cloud cover. The clouds are thickening and lowering, and that will prevent to have the cooling tonight we've had the last few nights. Now up to the southwest, Doppler 12 does show some very light rain between Weatherford and Abilene here along I-20. Doesn't amount to much, and I think we're looking at quite a while before that would get up into Texoma. So a dry evening, but overnight we'll start to see some patchy light rain or sprinkles developing. Ought to stay generally above 40 degrees tonight. The chance of rain does increase a little bit tomorrow, and we'll kind of have a chilly day tomorrow too. Now what about the weekend numbers? They're a little warmer. We're going to talk about that when I come back.
Still ahead on News 12 at 6, a new manufacturing facility making its way to Sherman, and the city's rolling out the welcome mat. What helped seal the deal, bringing the business to town?
Plus, the Salina Bobcats return to the state semifinals for the first time in 6 years. It's coming up later on in sports.
You're watching News 12 at 6 p.m. with Maureen, Kane, Dan Thomas, Sports with David Reed, and from the Weather Authority, here's Steve LaNore.
If you join us very often, you know we often get some great sunsets from our Tanglewood or our TMC time-lapse cameras. Tonight, we don't have much of a sunset for you, but I want you to watch the clouds zipping through Texoma skies here on this time-lapse. As we go into the evening, we have several different layers of clouds moving different directions. That's a pretty neat one in my book. Again, not much of a sunset tonight, though, as the clouds are rolling in. It's a sign of things to come. There you can see the sun light trying to peek through right there, a little bit of pink in the sky. And this time lapse brought to you by our friends at Glen Polk Autoplex and Supercenter Gainesville. So here, December 10th, 2014, looking like this. Well above freezing this morning with temperatures mid-30s to around 40. It'll be even warmer tonight as those clouds do thicken. And temperatures topped out generally in the 50s today. Saw a couple of spots like Marietta where you popped up to 60 degrees. But on the flip side of that, temperatures have already fallen into the mid-40s here with some slightly cooler air circulating in behind high pressure. So even though the wind is out of the southeast, our eastern counties did have the coolest temperatures today. And again, lots of 40s showing up. Antlers 45 right now. Looking at 54, those Sherman Denison. That's kind of the spread this hour. And as clouds fill in tonight, we're looking at temperatures to stay above freezing. A few pockets make it down the upper 30s, but more like low 40s for most of us. There's that wind speed. Again, kind of a gentle breeze tonight, just about 5 to 10 miles per hour. Get ready for the wind to pick up, though, this weekend as things kind of tighten up ahead of a Sunday storm that could dump some heavy rain. But tonight you just see some patchy light rain to our south. There's a weak trough right in here. It really doesn't amount to much, but there's enough lift there to produce some clouds and some light showers, and that's what we'll call trough number 1 here. A stronger system right at the top of the screen. You have to kind of imagine it a little bit. There's a little counterclockwise twist in this guy here, and that'll tend to strengthen as it pushes southward tomorrow. So we'll have a chance of a little bit of light rain late tonight, a better chance of that tomorrow and tomorrow night, and maybe into Friday morning. So let's put it in motion. Here's trough number 1. Not much to it. You'll see it fizzle here. They put the map in motion. And the second one is the much more dominant system. Now, it'll pass through tomorrow into Friday morning. So they'll have to keep a chance of rain, like we talked about last night, into Friday morning. But by Friday afternoon, the rain should be gone. High pressure briefly establishes itself over us on Saturday, so I don't expect any rain Saturday either. And then a deep low comes in. This looks like a pretty good chance of some thunderstorms for much of North Texas and just about all of Oklahoma. Could dump some heavy rain. We could use that. Okay, the timing not so great. It's on the weekend, but at least it's going to be the last portion of the weekend, probably Sunday afternoon and Sunday night, the way it's looking. Now tonight, a dry evening. We'll have clouds increasing, so we're looking at mostly cloudy skies. A chance of some sprinkles or light rain late tonight. Temperatures well above freezing here. Bonham, Ector about 40. Going to do about 41 for White, Wright, and Sherman. Back to Whitesboro, 40% chance of rain tomorrow. Our coldest temps probably in the upper 30s around Antlers, where tomorrow, thick cloud cover, about 50 degrees. Best chance of rain is going to be in the east here at 60%. Elsewhere across Texas, we're keeping that rain chance at 40%, 42.53 in Atoka. Tishomingo back to Fitztown, about 42.54 degrees, so not much of a temp variation with all the clouds around tomorrow. And most zones having, again, as you can see, temperatures in the 40s for starting temperatures, 50s for the highs. Your 7-day forecast shows keep us a small chance of rain in there Friday at 20%. Start to warm things up. Upper 60s by Saturday, rather windy, stormy Sunday afternoon, and then things will quiet down again for early next week. Stick around. Lots more News 12 at 6 is still ahead.
A new company is about to set up shop in Sherman, creating at least 100 new jobs.
Yeah, great news here. The company is called Renew Blue Industries, moving into the historic Sherman manufacturing facility in February. They recycle non-hazardous medical waste plastics. The Sherman Economic Development Corporation helped bring the company to Sherman, giving them a $400,000 grant, part of an economic development agreement. Sherman Mayor Kerry Wacker says the recycling company is good for the city in more ways than one.
To take this material, instead of landfilling it, they're going to actually recycle it into a product that's useful, so it extends the life, it gives something back, and we love that. We love to see that happening instead of stuff being just dumped.
Well, Renew Blue says they chose Sherman over several other cities in the Metroplex. They're expected to bring in more than $1 million in equipment that's going to be taxed by the city. And as we work to collect toys for tots for kids in need right here in Texoma, President Barack Obama and First Lady Michelle Obama helped sort gifts for Toys for Tots up in Washington, D.C.
Ho, ho, ho!
This is the first year President Obama has helped sort those gifts donated by White House staffers to Joint Base Anacostia Bowling. President Obama introduced himself as the Big Elf before he took off a suit jacket, rolled up his sleeves to help sort the toys. The First Lady joked that the president might have a hard time sorting because he doesn't do a lot of shopping.
I just want to say thanks to all of you for participating. I want to say thank you to Toys for Tots. Quick statistic. Since it started in the 1940s, Toys for Tots has distributed more than 469 million toys to more than 216 million children. I mean, that's a lot of dollhouses, that's a lot of Ninja Turtles. But really what Toys for Tots is about is generosity and giving back.
And of course, if you want to give back and help local children in Texoma, our Toys for Tots drive's in full swing. You can drop off a new unwrapped toy at our Ardmore or Sherman studios. For a list of locations, just check out our website, KXII.com.
So many generous folks out there.
That's
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, sports, what's going on?
A lot going on. Coaching change just coming down, so we'll get to that. Coming up next in sports, a local long-distance runner becomes a national champ, and the Salina Bobcats in the hunt for state title number 9. Sports is next.
Now, your award-winning local sports coverage. Here's David Reed.
A big coaching change in Texoma. Ada head man Matt Weber has resigned as the head coach of the Ada Cougars. Ada had a strong regular season. They went 8-3, but were eliminated in the first round of the playoffs. Weber had an overall record of 50-29 over his 7 seasons in Ada. His best team came in 2012 when the Cougars went to the state semifinals. The high school football playoffs will wrap up in Oklahoma this week with Davis playing in the finals. In Texas, we have one area team in the state semis. The Salina Bobcats return for the first time since 2008. Salina will get a tough Gilmer team this week that has been piling up points and wins on their route to SMU, where the two teams will face off on Friday. The winner heads to the finals. The Bobcats chasing their 9th state title in school history, but they'll have a huge test this week. Head coach Bill Elliott knows he has a special team.
We've had a lot of tradition of being there, the 4 years in a row. They're in the late 90s and, in 2002 and then 2005 and 07, there's been a lot of years there, and, it's been great to be part of those teams, so it's good to be back there. The kids are excited about being back there, and, it's just a great blessing for us to be here. A lot of things have happened through this year. It's been an unbelievable ride, and the trip to get to this point, the things that we've gone through different problems and things through the year, and that's what's kind of fun when you look back on things like this, is the kind of the road that you went through to get here.
Well, cross country is a sport that is taking off across Texoma. Several area athletes have competed and won big, and that includes a national champion that hails from Whitesboro. Benjamin Nahar has the story.
For Nick Butts, running is worth the early mornings, the late evenings, and the exhaustion at the end of the day. Nick has been running all his life, and last weekend, the work paid off. He became a national champion after placing first in the AAU Cross Country Championship.
I went into it just trying to PR and trying to do my best for my team, trying to win as a team, because I had no clue I was going to be able to outkick the guy and get first overall.
Yeah, it couldn't happen to a better kid. He's just a phenomenal kid as far as, athlete, all around, just a great kid.
Nick has been following in his brother's footsteps, who placed second at the state tournament last year, and is on his way to making his own legacy. He's broken several of his brother's records, and he plans on breaking more.
With me and my brother, we were always competing all the time and always having fun and just trying to run our fastest times, and he would push me a lot.
Watching them grow in the sport, it's amazing the things, if you put your mind to it, what you can do, and they show us that.
For a state that loves its football, cross country and track can sometimes get lost in the shuffle. But for Nick, it was an easy decision to run without the pigskin.
Back in 7th grade, I just realized I was too small for football, and I couldn't do that anymore, and I needed to focus on one sport that I was going to enjoy, and I was going to do good, and I was going to be able to go to college in, and that was running.
And with Nick being just a junior, he will have plenty of opportunity to continue to get better.
I would like to go to a Division I college like my brother did. Maybe I'm looking at A&M, trying to go to A&M. But I don't know, just fulfilling my dreams of just doing my best in running and out of college.
Reporting in Whitesboro, Benjamin Nahar, Sports 12.
Yeah, national champion. May just run his way right onto a college campus somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure he'll have some options.
It's A&M.
Right.
We hope it's A&M.
All right, thanks, David.
Yeah. Stay with us. We'll check your forecast next.
And welcome back to News 12 at 6. Taking looks once again at our time lapse. You see lots of clouds rolling into the skies of Texoma, and that will be a sign of things to come for the next couple of days. Don't expect much, if any, sunshine tomorrow. We'll have a chance of rain at about 40% tomorrow and into Friday morning at 20%. Then we get a break on Saturday for a pretty mild and windy day, and then stormy on Sunday.
All right. Well, enjoy the sunshine Saturday.
That's right.
Thanks, Steve.
All right. Thanks for joining us. See you back here at 10.